because then it helped funnel the people to a certain location to where then the Border Patrol could manage them easier. When they had all these holes in it, there was multiple places where these people would come across, and it was a lot harder on the Border Patrol to actually pick them up in an orderly fashion.
Now those containers are gone. I don't know why. It was working. It wasn't bothering the farmers. It wasn't bothering anybody that lives on the border because it doesn't affect them, and they're gone in one day.
Well, that was residents along the southern border in Arizona in disbelief as crews dismantle stacks of shipping containers that were used as a makeshift wall to fill in the gaps at the border. Arizona officials have spent $80 million building 4 miles of the barrier until agreeing last year to dismantle it under orders from the Biden administration. Governor Katie Hobbs is planning to follow through on the takedown, calling it a political stunt, saying it is not providing an effective barrier to entry and is a waste of taxpayer dollars. Joining us right now is former Arizona Republican gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake. Kari, it's good to see you. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
So what do you make of that? The containers are getting dismantled as Katie Hobbs was sworn in as governor.
Well, I mean, this is a problem of putting up a wall of container ships like that, shipment containers, because you could easily take it right back down. And this is why my plan on the border called for actually constructing and finishing President Trump's wall. We need a permanent barrier there, and we need a strong governor to do that. And that's why the people showed up and voted for me. But unfortunately, people running our elections sabotaged Election Day, and now we have Katie Hobbs sitting in the governor's office threatening to make our border crisis even worse than it already is. I mean, between Joe Biden and Katie Hobbs, Arizona is going to see an increase of people pouring across the border. It's going to continue to see fentanyl pouring across the border. And as you can see from the video on your screen, we're not going to have any barrier at all. I mean, I'd rather see a barbed wire fence than nothing at all, anything that we can keep people back. But we need to get a border wall up, and we need to finish President Trump's wall. The materials, Maria, are laying right there on the desert floor. My plan called for getting down there immediately and starting to construct the wall, and Joe Biden would have to come down and arrest me in order to stop me from doing that.
Well, I want to ask you how they are sabotaging or did sabotage your chances, but let's stay on the border for a moment, because you can give us a good eyewitness of what life is like on the ground in Arizona. I've heard stories from border agents that the gotaways, those people who are intentionally evading apprehension, are going to Tucson. So what has changed in Arizona since the 5 million plus illegals have entered America?
Well, what's changed in Arizona is we've seen crime rates go up. We're seeing people pouring across. And these are not people who just want to come over here for work. There are criminals coming across the border. When President Trump says they're emptying out their prison, there's some truth to that. Some really bad people are coming across the border, but the most important issue is we don't know what their background is. We've got the cartels controlling the southern border in Arizona, and right now they are pouring drugs across, they're pouring people across, and they're trafficking children, trafficking women. And we have a process, a legal immigration process. We want to know who's coming into our country. We don't want people pouring across from 80 or 90 or 100 different countries. Some of the worst people are coming across this border, and we need to know who's coming into our country.
Well, I think there were 100 people who were on the terrorist watch list who were apprehended, actually. I want to ask you about how the other side sabotaged you. We'll take a break and come back with that. Former Arizona gubernatorial candidate Kari Lake is with us, and we'll be right back.